Well guys, welcome back to the channel. We are here today checking out the Unmasking the Horror Tour at Universal Studios Florida. This is something that I've always wanted to do, just have never found the time, and when better to do that than on Halloween day. So we're gonna go ahead, check-in time is at about 12:30, and then get things rolling. It is gonna be phenomenal. Now, they do offer two different tours, the 3-house tour and then the 6-house tour. Tonight we will be doing the 3-house tour, and it's going to be a spectacular time. We get to go on in, have a guided tour of the haunted houses with the lights on. It's going to be amazing. It's gonna be fun. Yeah.
I'm excited. I've always wanted to do these tours, and I'm so glad we got the opportunity to do it now. Let's go!
To start off the tour, you'll first check into the VIP lounge to the right of the main gate. Here, they'll need your confirmation email for the tour, as well as the option to scan a valid daytime park ticket or annual pass. Now, it is not required to have a ticket for the day you wish to do the tour on. However, it allows you to stay in the park afterwards instead of taking the long walk back to the front. Once you've checked in, you'll head upstairs to where you'll find a couple of things. You'll receive a whisper unit so you can hear the tour guide, as well as a complimentary lanyard and pin to take home. Now is also the chance to grab a free bottle of water. It is a tour that includes a lot of walking, and only a small break in between houses to use the restroom. A quick disclaimer, there is no video or audio recording allowed during the tour, hence why you're getting a sort of slideshow as we take you through house to house. Alright, let's kick things off with our first house, Grave of Flesh. Now I'm gonna admit, when I first did this house at the beginning of the season, it was ranked near the bottom of my list. Now, did my overall opinion change after walking through with the lights on? I'd say absolutely. This is a gorgeous house. The idea is that you have died and now are passing the gates of the underworld. Here, you get to explore what might happen once you die and leave this world. A very cool story that I didn't really know what to think until doing this lights on tour. Pictured here is the very first scene of the haunted house, Howlmouth Cemetery, which is sort of a play on words. A quick side note, the people who build these houses every year love to hide a hidden Easter egg that fans can really hunt and look for. One year it was just frogs, well this year it was lizards. Here's your first lizard right over here in Grave of Flesh. The next room you'll look up, you can see your grave, signaling your death. You have died now, and you have found yourself underground in the afterlife, where you must fight off tons and tons of flesh eaters who will try to attack you as you move farther. Now we're getting deeper into the sort of flesh eaters hideaway, and may I just add, of the 3 houses we got to see, this one was pretty darn dark. It's very hard to put it on camera. What I really liked though, is that really matched the theme they were going for. The story is that you are experiencing different phases of what people think happens after you die. One element is a pitch black hallway to lean towards the idea that when you die, you are truly alone and enter a dark and soulless void. A really cool concept that I thought was explored really well in this haunted house. The next room includes some cool upside down staircases, as well as an interesting passageway between them. I just thought this room was really cool to look at. Nothing to really say about it. Now we enter a room called the Suffocation Room. This room sort of supposed to signify what it means to be like suffocated to death. Has some black light effects in there with the neon green tarps everywhere, and it really comes to life when you have this scare actor up on the platform. A really cool room nonetheless just to be standing in, even with the show lighting turned off and the wind effects that are usually in this room, or that were in this room during the Halloween Horror Night season. Up next is the big mirror looking thing. This is a cool element of misdirection, where while you're walking through the house you might get distracted and an actor or creature might jump out from behind you. A really cool effect that they love to use in the houses year after year. Grave of Flesh, no different. Up next is Dolls Let's Play Dead. But to get there, you must take a long walk through the park during normal operation to Sprung Tent 2 where the house was located. This house, once again, I wasn't quite feeling until after I did the tour, but may I just say, hearing all the little details and fun facts going through made my opinion do a complete 180. The idea is that you are entering a dollhouse that belongs to a little girl named Lila. You can argue that she is sort of inspired by Sid from Toy Story. You are one of her toys and must escape the dollhouse before it's too late. Upon entering, you get your first glimpse of the front entrance. It's worth noting that every year Universal loves to allow guest-activated triggers where you can push a button and something might happen to give a little extra scare. Dolls Let's Play Dead actually has 3 of these. The first one is hidden in the doorbell here. When pushed, all that would happen is a sort of doorbell sound effect. Pretty simple, run-of-the-mill. The 2 other activated triggers might have a little bit more of a scare factor included with them. But yeah, this was just a fun little thing the creative team decided to add, which honestly, you gotta commend them for, right? Simple, most people won't even know it's there, but a great little effect nonetheless. Aside from that, take note of the 34 above the front door. That is because this year was the 34th anniversary of Halloween Horror Nights. Over here we have the mousetrap with a rat's tail caught in it. You might want to keep an eye on that because the rest of the rat might come into play later. What I loved getting to see about this house in particular is just how much thought and creativity went into every little detail. Just walking through it, I believe that I was the size of a toy and that this house would have belonged to a mean-spirited little girl whose sole purpose was to harm her stuff. Here are some miscellaneous pictures we took. I didn't really know how else to use them in this video. I just thought they were really cool and wanted to include them. Over here we have some batteries. Now, what's so unique about batteries? Well, take a closer look and you might see that they are BuzzCon batteries. BuzzCon was the big company at the center of the Bugs Eaten Alive house from 2022. This was a really cool hallway where you walk through a bunch of dangling wires I thought was pretty neat. Up next though is a big circular room with a bed in the middle of it. Take a closer look, you might be able to recognize a familiar clown. That is Jack. Above, it was a very big and cool spider creature made out of yarn. This was probably my favorite full-scale prop from this haunted house. Super cool to see up close with the lights on. Continuing on, you can tell the dollhouse is becoming a bit more sinister. Some toys are becoming more and more damaged or defaced as you go along. Really twisted stuff Lila is doing here. Up next, it seems as though you have found yourself underneath an easy bake oven with no sign of escape. Very claustrophobic feeling. I love this part. Now, remember the hidden lizard I mentioned earlier? Well, we found another one right over here on a sort of shelf. Here's a big baby head that everyone loved taking pictures with. One of my favorite hidden details in this house, which I never would have noticed without taking the tour, is that over here on this baby cam box, there's a fun little label stating that it is green rectangle certified. 100% doesn't mean anything, it's just a green rectangle. The next part of the house was us continuing through the dollhouse with some more fun gags. What was fun about this one is that it became more and more clear that the creative team really did their research, finding what a little girl who plays with toys would be interested in. A lot of easy bake ovens, Little Miss potties, matches which she could use to damage the toys with. So many little details that you got to appreciate, and they really did their homework here. I love this house. I loved getting to take a tour with the lights on. Definitely made me appreciate it a lot more than just doing it during the night. The third and final house of the tour was Hatchet Chains Demon Bounty Hunters. This quickly rose to the top to become my favorite original house of the year. Therefore, I was very excited to see it with the lights on for the tour and really learn more about every little detail. This house was first featured in Slaughter Cinema 2 from the year prior as just a singular room, and they expanded on that idea to making it into its own original house. The idea is that you find yourself in an old western town, and a woman cuts her own tongue with a knife, unleashing a horde of demons from Hell's Well, which you can actually see at the start of the house. Some demons are protesting against the construction of the local train station, which you'll later see. With the enlisted help of the bounty hunter duo Hatchet and Chains, they go after these demons and chase them out of town. One thing I loved about this house was just how detailed everything was. I mean, all the houses were detailed, but this one went above and beyond. The first room after entering is the mailroom. I tried to look around for some hidden Easter eggs here. One was this letter that featured various names on it that could be references to some of the other icons of Halloween Horror Nights. Now, there's no real reason to bring up this horse other than the fact that I thought it was really cool. Here our tour guide Brittany is pulling on a chain, trapping one of the demons. This was a cool moment from the house, where you typically would see one of the scare actors pulling said chain. One thing I loved about Hatchet and Chains is the use of space. There are times when you look around and can see through either a window or a small opening and see those going through the house either ahead or behind you. It really allows the environment to feel a lot bigger and more alive than it actually is. In this room, you see a lot of coffins lying around, with some even holding a few dead bodies. These bodies are presented having silver coins over their eyes. The reason for this is that back years ago, they would actually place coins over the eyes of the deceased to allow them passage to the underworld by Charon the ferryman. One of the small details you just have to appreciate by the creative team for doing their research. The next part after this cemetery scene, which I just thought was really cool and allowed you to look around and really appreciate the environment, is this broken looking dilapidated bridge. One of my favorite tactics they love to do is making it feel as if you were walking across some broken bridge or passageway, something like that. It's a really cool effect and honestly is very convincing. It makes you feel like you are really high up in the air, but in actuality, you never are more than maybe like a couple of feet up. The first time I personally ever experienced this effect was in the Wicked Growth house from 2021. The next room is meant to resemble the schoolhouse, so of course you'll pass by a chalkboard with some writing on it, and the teacher's name written at the top, Miss Carnation. Afterwards, you are back outside. I just love the architecture, making you really feel like you're in a western town being haunted by demons. Easy to miss was this demon up above, taking another victim's life. You'll find yourself in the train station now, where the demons are attempting to flee to the next town. They've decided they've had enough of Hatchet and Chains. On their attempt to escape though, the two bounty hunters decide to blow their train up with dynamite, in an old-fashioned western ending. You see some more dead bodies, one of which has a journal turned open, which you would never be able to stop and read when actually doing the haunted house, so that was cool to see. Also, I just love this deer head over here on the wall with some more chains running through the ceiling. And that just about concludes our look at Hatchet and Chains Demon Bounty Hunters. Huge shout out to Brittany for being such a great tour guide. They definitely made it fun listing off tons of facts and Easter eggs that really helped us put together this video, so I highly recommend them as a guide moving on in years to come. Well, that's going to do it from the house tour today. We had a spectacular time, learned tons of new and unique things that I actually did not know about. That was a great time. If you ever have the chance to do one of these Unmasking the Horror Tours, I say go for it. Yeah. Go for it 100%. You would not be disappointed.
It really made me appreciate the houses a lot more now, knowing like every single detail and getting to see it up close with the lights on. It was insane.
The creative team behind these houses know what the fans want. They really explore details that you might think have died off, but no, like there were some fun nods to past events. We saw Jack the Clown in Doll's Let's Play Dead. It was phenomenal. Yeah, we got to see some of the lizards that they usually hide in the houses. Come out, do the Unmasking the Horror Tour. You only have about 2 more days. I don't know booking wise if they have any spots available for the last 2 nights after today, but I mean, if you're watching this, sorry you missed out. Unfortunately, there's always next year. Well guys, that's gonna do it from here for another episode on the channel. Happy Halloween, Hope you have a good rest of your day. We're gonna get on out of here. We're both tired. This tour definitely requires a lot of walking. So you know what? That's okay. We had still a fun time. But anyway, guys, until the next one, take care. Be sure to subscribe, like the video for more, and we'll see you in the next one.